All right, the title of this one is there a dating app or site that isn't completely depressing for guys? Well, let's get right into it and see what this fella has for us. He says, I am just so tired of endlessly swiping, trying to think of something interesting to comment on a profile, trying to come up with a bio that's honest and will give a girl some attention, if they even bother to read them. And all of this just to get nothing out of it and feeling like it's a waste of my time so far. And trying to meet women in person doesn't even feel like a possibility at this point. For the last few months, I've been going to hockey and football games, concert, road trips, and many other outings, and I can't even recall one missed opportunity to meet someone. It just feels like there are no women out there at all. Make it make sense. Is dating actually possible today? How will I ever meet a woman? Well, in something like this, if you go and post it on Reddit, you'll get a bunch of crappy pieces of advice on it. But here's the thing that really stood out to me. He says that he's been around the world essentially, and he's not seeing any attractive women. It's almost like they're not there. And here's the thing. It's not that they're not there. They're there. It's just that you're invisible to them. This is what happens to the vast majority of guys. The vast majority of men out there today are plugged in beta males. If you're on my email list, I break that down in the 4 quadrants. I'll put a card up on the top right for the podcast that I talked about with the 4 quadrants and what an unplugged beta male is versus an unplugged alpha. Women will avoid you. They will not notice you. You will essentially seem invisible if you're not a top shelf guy. That's just the reality of the world that we live in today. Women today, more than ever, have some of the highest expectations I've ever seen. They don't have standard expectations that your grandmother or your great-grandmother had of a man back in the day, like he just had to have a job and be in shape and be a nice guy. Those days are long gone. They have a massive laundry list of huge expectations that aren't ever going to be fulfilled by any one guy, if we're being honest with you. But if you're not showing up as the best version of yourself, like for the vast majority of guys out there, I think well over 50% of the North American population at this point is considered obese, overweight at the very least. Less than 20% of guys out there are actually fit. If you can put yourself in the top 20% where you're fit, you've got visible abs, you've got broad shoulders, the 1.62 golden ratio where your shoulders are wider than your waist. Most guys walk around in a pear-shaped body, big belly, man boobs, and they wonder why they're invisible to women. Start there. Start by getting into a gym. Start by learning competency skills like fight skills. Go to a dojo. Learn how to fight. Pick up a skill. It doesn't matter if it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever you happen to like. Learn competency skills, because a man that has a capacity for violence is certainly an attractive man. The man that says that he's a peaceful man but has no capacity for violence is basically a weakling. At the end of the day, women choose the best men that are out there. I've said this before. They wait at the finish line and they pick the winner. Sometimes you can get to the finish line as a winner, and a lot of those gals at the finish line have been run through, if we're being perfectly honest. So you have to be discerning in your taste once you get to the finish line and the women start choosing you. This is very important. But for the vast majority of guys out there, they're not even getting chosen. They feel like they're invisible. They're not getting responses on dating apps because they suck. It doesn't matter. You don't have to craft the most perfect bio. This is the most interesting thing that I hear from guys. What's the best bio? What's the best opener? You don't even need one. The best one is your main profile picture. If you look like a hot dude, you can say anything. They've in fact tested this. I remember seeing this test once where they used a photography of this smoking hot model. You can call him a 10 out of 10. Visible ads, good looking face, chiseled jaw, great hairline, hunter eyes, the deep set eyes with the nice eyebrows, like the typical handsome Chad. And they created this bio basically saying that he was a pedophile, he was convicted of it, but he's changed his life. And he would randomly, well, not him, but obviously, with this test that they ran, they would randomly message all these women, very attractive women, and they would routinely look past the fact that he stated that he was a pedophile because he was so attractive. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. That's all that it really boils down to. You want to get women's attention, you want to get women to show up, you want to get women to react positively to you, you want them to say yes when you ask them for a phone number. You have to be attractive. And I cover all those details in my book. I also cover a good deal of it in the School of Unplugging. I created that for you guys specifically so that you can get the best information possible to level yourself up. So you should go to the top pinned comment, check it out, and get enrolled over there to go through all that material. There's over 30 hours of video content to fix problems like this. But it's going to require work. The vast majority of what you need to do is dressed in overalls, and it absolutely looks like work. And the good news for the guys that are willing to do it is you will level up and you will get the results that you want. The vast majority of guys will do nothing with it. They're going to sit there and whinge and whine and complain about why girls don't want anything to do with him.